Hey guys, what's going on? So we got Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney coming up to fight on April 20th. So just wanted to give a little breakdown and prediction here. Both guys are 25 years old, both from the West Coast. And Ryan Garcia is 24-1 with 19 knockouts. Devin Haney is 31-0 with 15 knockouts. Both the same height and weight, and one reason why this fight is a little bit interesting is they've already fought 6 times already, but this was in the amateurs. They both went 3-3 and have also sparred several times, so they have a lot of experience with each other. They just haven't fought live for a professional bout. And just going over both of their characteristics, Ryan Garcia has pretty fast hands with a big left hook, whereas Devin Haney is more quick, has really good movement, and is much more accurate. In Devin Haney's last 8 fights, all of them went to the scorecard. He hasn't had a knockout for about 5 years, but Ryan Garcia's coming off a recent loss against Gervonta Davis. He got a win after that. So some possible scenarios for this fight. I think it's very likely that Devin Haney will really focus on his jab. He's familiar with Ryan Garcia's power, so I think it's less likely that Ryan's going to be able to surprise him with anything. Devin Haney will likely play it safe, throw a lot of feints in there, and maybe even copy some of Davis's successful counter punches against Ryan Garcia if he's really vulnerable to that again. Probably going to duck and counter a lot, bob and weave. Isn't going to want to stay inside too much, but he's really just going to try and land some punches and then keep his distance. But I think one of the most defining questions of this fight is, will Ryan Garcia be disciplined or patient enough to potentially find some sort of an opening, since he is a big puncher? He definitely has a puncher's chance to win this fight. I don't think he's going to be able to beat Haney technically, but a clear path for victory for him would be catching Devin Haney and this having a drastic outcome on the fight or even finishing him. But I think this is more unlikely. He didn't really show much against Gervonta Davis, and he didn't really show any abilities in being patient, kind of having more of a chess match early and then having a potential opening come later in the fight. He didn't really show that ability with Gervonta Davis, so I don't think that's going to be there come fight night here. But again, it's really possible that he could land one of those left hooks during one of Devin Haney's jabs, because you can't go swimming without getting wet. So I think Haney will get caught by one of them at some point. The question is how effective or how hard of a punch it is. Is Ryan going to really be able to catch him? And is his punch going to be able to hurt Devin Haney? Most likely, I think that jab will keep Ryan Garcia at bay. And it's possible Ryan could even get hurt in this fight. Hasn't shown that much of a chin, but Devin Haney, again, doesn't have much power. So we could likely see a jab battle. This could lead to Ryan getting in at some point, especially if Devin Haney gets lazy or a little bit tired later in the fight. Then potentially Ryan Garcia could get inside and could do some damage. The question again is just how much. And especially if Devin Haney kind of gets a little too complacent or wants more of a highlight reel. If Devin Haney tries to trade with Ryan Garcia, I don't think that's going to be good for him. Ryan Garcia is easily going to get the best of that unless it's more of a strategic counter punching from Devin Haney. Or I could even see Devin Haney trying to time up a big punch and not really being effective due to his accuracy. But again, if he gets a little bit too careless and Ryan Garcia is able to land something, I think another big question is, how can Devin Haney fight with a little resilience, with a little pushback? We have seen him get hurt a little bit, but I would say this is more of just a little shaky, and especially being saved by the bell. I don't think he's really been taken down to account. He hasn't really been knocked down. So if this possibly happens, how is he going to respond to that? Is he going to be able to come back and hold on and get the win, or is it really going to affect him both physically and mentally? I think that's another major question as well. And just a more in-depth breakdown, I think most likely first round, they're both going to feel each other out. Probably second and third, Devin Haney's really going to work that jab, really do well against Ryan Garcia. Fourth round could see Haney getting a little bit too complacent and Ryan Garcia landing something on him. Again, how bad would the damage be here? And then 5 through 8, I think because Ryan Garcia would be able to land, he might get a little bit too wild, trying to hunt down Devin Haney and then losing a little bit of effectiveness. Haney being able to really recover, really move around, really show his excellent footwork. But then again, this might only last a few rounds. Ryan Garcia could land a heavy punch again in something like round 9, forcing Devin Haney to just survive for a couple rounds. But I could then see it going back to Haney in rounds 11 and 12. He kind of goes back to his game plan, really focusing on that jab. Devin Haney being able to hold on for some sort of a decision win. I think that's a very likely scenario for how this fight could play out. And again, the biggest question here, if Ryan Garcia is able to catch Devin Haney, is it just going to be a wobble or is it going to be a full knockdown and count? I think that's going to make the difference of the fight. The most probable outcome here, I see Devin Haney winning about 8 rounds to 4. And then probably 2 of those rounds I say would be close. So you could maybe get one judge having it at a tie, a 6-6. So Haney would win a majority decision. He's favored to win by decision. I think especially Ryan Garcia's fight against Gervonta Davis is what really hurts his stock here. You could argue the rehydration clause had an effect on him, but I think he wasn't really landing anyways in that fight. So I don't think it was like, oh, he was landing, just not having the same impact since he was a little bit dry. So that's why I think a Garcia knockout is unlikely. It's definitely possible. But I also wouldn't be surprised if you're looking for something more unusual to happen in this fight. I would rather go Devin Haney actually scoring a late knockout because I think it's definitely possible Ryan Garcia panics, gets a little bit too wild himself if the fight's not going how he wants it to, and that backfiring on him. Devin Haney really making him pay and really kind of winning more of a TKO again against Ryan Garcia. I could see that being a little bit more of an unexpected outcome for this. Just because, yeah, we haven't seen Devin Haney get a knockout a lot recently, but I think that's definitely possible here given the matchup and how they're both looking for this fight. Either way, Devin Haney's probably going to win, but that's just my thoughts for that. Really interested to see how this fight is going to play out. Feel free to let me know your predictions for this fight. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you later.